The wrong turn. It was a cold, rainy night when two friends, Sankit and Rohan, decided to drive to their village. Tired of the usual traffic on the highway, they chose a shortcut that passed through a deserted forested area. The road was unfamiliar, dark, and eerily silent, making Rohan uneasy. Sankit, are you sure about this road? The highway is longer, but at least it's safe, Rohan said, glancing out at the dense trees lining the path. Relax, I've taken this road before. We'll be back on the main route in no time, Sankit reassured him. The car headlights barely pierced the thick darkness ahead. The towering trees on both sides cast long shadows, and the sound of rain falling on leaves heightened the tension. They had been driving for almost half an hour, but the shortcut didn't seem to lead anywhere. Every turn looked identical, and their confusion grew with each passing moment. Something's not right, Sankit. We should turn back and take the main road, Rohan suggested nervously. Just a bit further, trust me. It'll save us time, Sankit replied, though his confidence was wavering. A few minutes later, they spotted a figure in the distance. A woman dressed in a white sari stood in the middle of the road, waving for them to stop. Her silhouette was illuminated by the headlights, but her face remained partially hidden. Look, someone needs help, Sankit said, slowing the car. No, don't stop, Rohan exclaimed, his voice trembling. Come on, she's alone and stranded in this weather. We can't just leave her, Sankit insisted, bringing the car to a halt. Sankit rolled down the window and asked, Do you need help? The woman, speaking in a soft, almost whispery voice, replied, My house is nearby, but I've lost my way. Could you drop me there? Despite Rohan's silent protests, Sankit opened the door for her. She sat in the back seat, her soaked clothes dripping water onto the floor. The air in the car grew colder, an unsettling chill that neither of them could explain. As they drove on, Sankit tried to make conversation. What were you doing out here so late? Her voice was calm but unnerving. I was looking for my house, but it seems to have disappeared. Please take me there. The journey continued in silence, but soon Rohan noticed something strange in the rearview mirror. The woman's face was changing. Her eyes grew unnaturally wide, her skin turned a ghastly shade, and her lips curled into a sinister smile. Stop the car! Sankit, stop the car now! Rohan shouted in terror. Sankit slammed on the brakes, but the car didn't stop. The woman's voice suddenly grew deeper, almost inhuman. My house may have disappeared, but now I have you. I'll never be alone again, she said, her laugh echoing eerily through the car. The car accelerated on its own, and Sankit lost control of the steering wheel. Terrified, the two friends clung to their seats as the vehicle hurtled toward an old, crumbling mansion that appeared out of nowhere. The car came to an abrupt halt in front of the gate. This is where I live, the woman said, her tone icy and commanding. Shaking, Sankit and Rohan turned around to look at her, but she was gone. They looked outside and saw the mansion. Its broken windows, overgrown vines, an ominous aura made it seem like a place abandoned for decades. We need to get out of here, Sankit stammered. He tried starting the car, but the engine wouldn't turn over. Suddenly, a chilling voice filled the air. My house was lost, but now it has visitors. You belong here with me. Panic-stricken, the two friends abandoned the car and ran into the forest. They ran blindly, desperate to escape, but every path seemed to lead them back to the same spot. The forest was like a maze, trapping them in its cold embrace. We're stuck in this place. We're never getting out, Rohan cried, tears streaming down his face. Just as despair began to set in, the first light of dawn broke through the trees. The forest's suffocating darkness lifted slightly, and they eventually stumbled onto the main road. Exhausted and shaken, they flagged down a passing vehicle and hitched a ride to the nearest town. They never found out what happened to their car, the strange woman, or the haunted mansion. From that day on, Sankit and Rohan vowed never to take shortcuts again. Sometimes a wrong turn doesn't just lead to a longer route. It takes you to a place where horrors lurk in the shadows, waiting for their next victims.